My dad is actually a pastor. I was born into a Christian family. So it was kind of like, I've always been Christian ever since I was a kid. That's where I grew up in church. And that's kind of where my talent got honed because I was the pastor's daughter. I was always on stage, you know, I was always singing. But of course, we all go through our own journey. I mean, I also have my dark days. Malalaman niyo naman sa mga kanta ko. I wouldn't, kasi most of my songs are based on my experience. It would be so hard for me to write something like a really heartbreaking, sad, and dark song without me going through something really hard, right? So, when I needed to quit the band, I think I was 21, 22. Something really, really major happened to me. The first heartbreak ever. And that was like, mind-blowing. Like, nagulo yung mundo ko. So, I went through a phase after that of just really trying to find myself because at the time, my whole world was revolved around that relationship and the band. And then when that was taken away from me, I'm like, okay, so what am I gonna do now? Everything's connected to that and I have to leave that. So I didn't know what to do. That's why I had to quit the band. And I had to kind of step back and try to find myself again. And that's where the whole you should go solo thing happened. And that period of time was when I wrote most of my songs, which was the first album that we released, which is Grateful. It's very raw. At the time, I was working with MCA Music, and they gave me full creative freedom to do whatever I wanted to do with that album. That was an advantage, you know, to me. So talagang, sige na, go na. But at first, syempre, I had some hesitation because I'm like, wow, this is very personal. All of the songs, it's kind of like you're reading through my diary. I figured if I wanted to introduce myself to the public, and it's not like I have anything to hide, you know, so I'm like, just, you know, go all out na. Every song is a different experience. One is connected to the other sometimes. Like, there are two songs there na talaga. It's part one and then what happened after. Yung mga ganon. It was a story of my journey, finding who I am, finding God, you know, finding my faith and how that really helped me get through a certain situation. But I guess because I was brought up Christian and my family has always been a big part of my music and their support and the values that they've instilled in me. I'm just really thankful that I have that, you know. Even if I wanted to stray far off, I think I just have that invisible like string that kind of like, oops, okay, Julie, you're not gonna go too far. I've just really been blessed that, you know, that was in place early on. Right now, I'm single. I do not have any particular significant other. I'm actually quite enjoying being single right now. I've always been into the artist type of guy, you know, ever since I was like a teenager. Those are the kinds of guys that I get like drawn to. Guys with a dark side, kind of, you know. But right now, because I'm a little older, I'm 30 and I'm proud to be 30, a little wiser, and I'm like, parang for me, I've been through, I think, enough heartbreak and relationships to know and figure out what it is that I really want. I really have just 3 top non-negotiables. Number 1 is he has to love God with all his heart and all his mind. He has to love God. Second is he needs to be financially stable. That's very important. And the third, I was really like toying with the third, like, what's the third kaya? Like, kasi yun yung parang candid eh. And basing on like going in and out of relationships and experiencing different kind of guys, because I've dated non-musicians before. I've dated athletes, and some of them musicians and stuff. But nakita ko na mas importante sa akin yung kailangan love niya yung music eh. It would be a big plus if he was a musician, but not necessarily. Music ako eh, so hindi, parang I feel like it's gonna be so hard to be with somebody who doesn't understand the core, you know, one of my biggest, you know, facets. I'm standing there, waiting for my guitar to be turned on. Nothing's happening. It's just like pitch black, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a Gary Valenciano concert and I'm ruining it!